Welcome to the Apartment Marketing Minute, where you'll get great apartment marketing tips in less than 5 minutes. I'm Josh Gurlow, president of Resident 360 and #1 best-selling author for the book, The Definitive Guide to Apartment Marketing. On today's episode, we're going to be answering the question, what is SEO for apartment websites? And more importantly, why should you even care? So let's get started.
SEO, also referred as search engine optimization, means influencing how your website ranks naturally in the search engines. Now, by making changes to your website, such as the words on the page, titles, even links pointing back to your website, you can improve your chances of showing up higher in the search results, which means more people finding your website. So let's go through 3 basic things that you really need to know. Number 1, you want to choose a keyword that you want to rank for. So here at Resident 360, we like to get very specific. So if we have an apartment community that's in a specific neighborhood, it would be apartments in that neighborhood name. So let's just say I have apartments in the Pacific Beach neighborhood of San Diego. It would be apartments in Pacific Beach. Now, the more specific you can get, the less competition you're going to have, or the less amount of other apartment communities trying to compete with you on Google, Yahoo, and Bing to rank for that specific keyword. Now, if you're not in a specific area, you can go more general and using the city and state. So, for example, it could be apartments in San Diego, California. But just keep in mind, the more general you go, the more competition you're going to have of other apartment communities trying to rank for the exact same keyword. And last, you'll also want to make sure you have your apartment community name as a keyword. The next thing you want to do is you want to have these keywords in the following places on your website. So you want them in the title tag of your website, you want them in the meta description of your website, and it's also a good idea to actually have them in the homepage content of your website. So let's take a quick look at that right now. So here I am, I'm out on Google, and just look at my little red arrow. This is Canal Side Lofts. And you'll see, it might be a little bit hard to see, but in purple, Canal Side Lofts, you have the apartment community name in that title tag. You got the keyword, apartments in downtown Columbia, South Carolina. And then in the meta description, which is basically that little snippet of text underneath the URL, anytime you do a Google search that tells you what that website's about, you'll see enjoy riverfront living at Canal Side Loft. So they have the apartment community name in that meta description. And then you also have your keyword again, downtown Columbia, South Carolina, in apartments in that meta description. So if I was to click on this website, you'll see we also have our keyword right in our homepage text, apartments in downtown Columbia, South Carolina. And then we also have our community name here as well, Canal Side Lofts. So the last thing you want to do is you want links pointing back to your website to show it's credible. And social media is a great place to get these links. So if you have a Facebook and Twitter accounts, basically link your profile back to your website. Now, you might be saying to yourself, why should you even care about SEO for your website? Well, here's why. If you do a Google search for your community name and you don't show up on the first page, then you may have an SEO problem, which means you're losing all those people that are Googling your community name. So imagine people driving by your community, pulling out their mobile phone, Googling your community name, and your website not showing up on the first page of Google. You're missing out on all that traffic and all those potential leads. Now, just by fixing this problem, it's likely your website leads will increase by as much as 20%. Now, the good news is it's an easy fix. All you need to do is ask your website or provider to address the issue.
The last thing I want to clear up about SEO is I get a lot of clients asking, Josh, what is the difference between SEO and SEM? Well, remember, SEO focuses on influencing your ranks naturally in the search engines, so making changes to your website to help it rank better in search engines. SEM, also called search engine marketing, is where you use paid advertising on the search engines to market your site. So a great example of this is using Google AdWords or Google pay-per-click, where you actually put your ad right at the top of Google search results, and anybody that clicks on your ad, they go over to your website. So remember, SEM is paid advertising on the search engines. SEO focuses on making changes to your website so that it ranks naturally in the search engines. So I hope that clears up any confusion when it comes to SEO and SEM. So that's it for this episode of the Apartment Marketing Minute. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Grillo. See you next week.